Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 38th favorite dad in the family community, Papa West, Jacob West, here for another exciting episode of TMG Takes the Field. It will just be me for the first part. Tato is busy with work, but don't worry. I will bring somebody in later on because we have our first celebrity guest picker to join me, not us, because Tato's not here, but to join me for week 2 of the NFL. I just have to make some arrangements real quick because this person just messaged me. But as always, we do start the show off by talking about college football. And a pretty good week, too. Some blowouts, some close games, an upset, some almost upsets. So let's get into it. First off, we have, again, most of the games that I'm going to talk about happened on Saturday because we typically only talk about ranked games. So we had Ohio State destroying Grambling 70-0. Penn State destroying FIU 34-0. LSU not necessarily destroying, but handling Louisiana Tech 23-7. Georgia, same boat, handling Austin Peay 28-6. Miami beat Bethune 45-3. Oregon destroyed Oklahoma State 69-3. I was kind of expecting something a little closer with the comments Mike Gundy made to Dan Landing. Mike Gundy is a quotes machine for all the coaches out there. But no, Oklahoma State couldn't do anything. Texas beat San Jose State 38-7. Clemson narrowly avoided an upset, beating Troy 27-16. South Carolina beat South Carolina State 38-10. Illinois beat Duke 45-19. Florida State beat Texas A&M 77-3. Iowa State beat Iowa to get the Cy-Hawk Trophy 16-13. Texas A&M beat Utah State 44-22. Ole Miss beat Kentucky 30-23. Alabama beat UL Monroe 73-0. Tennessee beat Tennessee State University 72-17. Indiana beat Kennesaw State 56-9. Texas Tech beat Kent State 62-14. Utah beat Cal Poly 63-9. We did have one ranked versus ranked matchup. Number 15 Michigan traveling to Norman to take on 18 Oklahoma. Oklahoma pulled out the win 24-13. And then we did have, looks like 3 upsets for the day. So the first one that I'll bring up, Baylor beat number 17 SMU 48-45. That game went into 2 overtimes. Then we had Mississippi State beating Arizona State 24-20 on a lost second touchdown. They were really ahead most of the game. And then South Florida proving they need to be ranked, beating Florida 18-16. So now the way our top 25 sits, we have Ohio State at 1, Penn State at 2, LSU's at 3, Oregon's at 4, bumping up a little bit. Miami's at 5. Georgia drops down to 6. Texas is at 7. Notre Dame's at 8. Illinois is at 9. Florida State's at 10. South Carolina did drop a little bit. They are 11. Clemson dropped a little bit. They are now at 12. Oklahoma's at 13. Iowa State's at 14. Tennessee is at 15. Texas A&M's at 16. Ole Miss is 17th. USF ranked. They're now 18th. Alabama's at 19. Utah's at 20. Texas Tech is at 21. Indiana's at 22. Michigan did drop down to 23. But Auburn is at 24. Missouri is at 25. Arizona State, Florida, and SMU, the 3 teams that lost to unranked teams, are no longer ranked, at least for this week. We'll see if they're able to get back in the win column and get to a ranked position. So for week 3, we do have a couple. We have a game on Friday. Indiana is taking on Indiana State. And then Saturday, we have Utah traveling to Wyoming to take on the Cowboys. Oregon's traveling to Northwestern. I believe that's in Indiana or Illinois to take on the Wildcats. Clemson's taking on Georgia Tech. Oklahoma's taking on Temple. Alabama's taking on Wisconsin. Michigan's taking on Central Michigan. Auburn is taking off South Alabama. Penn State's taking on Villanova. Texas Tech's taking on Oregon State. Iowa State's taking on Arkansas State. Missouri's taking on Louisiana. Texas is taking on UTEP. Ohio State's taking on Ohio. Illinois is taking on Western Michigan. Ole Miss is taking on Arkansas. LSU is taking on Florida. South Carolina is taking on Vanderbilt. And then we do have a couple ranked versus ranked matchups. Notre Dame and Texas A&M. Notre Dame's at 8. Texas A&M's at 16. Number 5, Miami is taking on number 18, South Florida. South Florida looking to play spoiler once more. And then number 6, Georgia versus number 15, Tennessee. So some high-octane matchups heading your way for college football. And again, we will talk about those games next week. But we do have week 1 in the books. Tato, while he missed the show last week, did give me his predictions. And what I will say right now is it's close. Last year, I took a very quick lead. Stayed that way up until week 16 when Tato took back the lead. Or not took back the lead, took a lead on himself. And didn't look back. Granted, there was 2 weeks. You can't really look back. But for the overall predictions, Tato got 10 correct, 6 incorrect. I got 8 correct and 8 incorrect. We'll start with Thursday. The Cowboys taking on the Eagles. Eagles raising the banner. Close game, a lot closer than most people thought would happen. Philadelphia won 24-20. Then we had the Friday game in Sao Paulo. The Chargers and Chiefs. Chargers were victorious 27-21. And then for our Sunday games, the Cardinals beat the Saints 20-13. Colts just beat the Dolphins 33-8. Raiders beat the Patriots 20-13. Steelers in a barn burner beating the Jets 34-32. Commanders beat the Giants 21-6. Jaguars beat the Panthers 26-10. Bengals in the nail biter beat the Browns 17-16. Buccaneers beat the Falcons 23-20 in another nail biter. The 49ers beat the Seahawks 17-13. Broncos beat the Titans 20-12. Packers beat the Lions 27-13. Rams beat the Texans 14-9. Bills with a crazy comeback beat Baltimore 41-40. And then Monday night we did have the Vikings coming back to, but not quite as good as what the Ravens did or what the Bills did. Vikings beat the Bears 27-24. So we did have some fun games there. Some nail biters. Several of those, especially the one possession games, did come down to the very end. Some crazy blowouts. I predicted the Colts to beat the Dolphins. I don't think anybody predicted the Colts to beat the Dolphins like that, though. Steelers Jets was a lot closer than I think anyone saw coming. Commanders Giants, I do think Russell Wilson looks so bad. But then also Abdul Carter, he looked bad too. There was one play where he had a free rush to Jaden Daniels. And instead of just sprinting to hit the man, he just stuck his hands up like this and ran towards him. But no, some fun games. But I'm gonna ask somebody for their thoughts on some of the games. Introducing our first ever celebrity guest picker. There's nobody that you want to have starting something off other than Jay Burns. Jay, how's it going?
It's been a day full of ups and downs. I literally watched somebody die today. It's been a wild 24 hours, my friend.
It has been a wild 24 hours. But for people who do not know, Jay is a massive Seahawks fan. Seahawks not able to pull the win out, losing to the 49ers 13-17. Any thoughts on that game or any thoughts on any of the games that happened over the weekend?
Yeah, my biggest thing about that is I know like a lot of people want to hate on Rick Woolen right now. Like they feel like Reek sold on the team and is one of the giant reasons we lost. It happens. Like everybody's players get a little overhyped and a little angry, regardless of who it is. But in a rivalry game, it's one thing. But I don't see anybody pointing a finger at Sam Darnold, our brand new quarterback, who decided to fumble a ball and have it recovered by the defense. Like nobody's talking shit about that. Everybody's just talking about Reek, and it's like, well, if you want to put the team on somebody's shoulders, put the team on a quarterback's shoulders. You did it to Russ, you can do it to Sam Darnold. It's okay. You don't just have to put it on somebody with melanin. It sucks that we lost. Did we play a good game? For the most part, we played a good game. We kept it tight like a tiger. It wasn't obviously how I wanted it to go down. I was at work while it happened. When the game kicked off, I was on my lunch, so I got to watch the first little bit of it. Then I had to go back in, and I kept my phone down, and I was yo ho ho and a bottle of rumming it throughout the entire thing. It was a really good. It was a good match. Like it was straight up football. I think the Kubiak needs a little bit of time to find its legs. I don't think that OTAs and 3 weeks of preseason is that much time. But there's still a lot of football left. And we know where we need to work. I really did like the me and Tato, speaking of Tato, can't be here because he's in California right now, bastard. Watched the Chiefs-Chargers game, and holy shit. I've never not seen I've never not seen refs work for their fucking daddy Patrick Mahomes, like I've never not seen them work for him in Sao Paulo. that was just the best. I was like, oh, they had to have gotten Brazilian refs. Nope, they got regular refs. They're not in the States. So what are you going to do? Stop them?
Yeah. One thing I will say that really surprised me with that game is this whole off season, and we saw it a lot last year too, is you're expecting the Chargers to run the ball. Spent that draft pick on Joe Alt last year. Picking up Najee Harris, getting Omarion Hampton, signing Mekhi Becton. Like, this is going to be a run-first offense. And they didn't run the ball.
And then it wasn't. No, they did run the ball with their goddamn quarterback.
Yes. And it was like you would watch it, and the announcers were every time was like, oh, Herbert's stepping back to throw. Why is Herbert throwing it? They should be running the ball.
And you're just shut up.
Yes.
Shut up. Let the man use his elite ball knowledge.
It's like we give this guy crap because nobody thinks he's a good quarterback. Let's let him be a good quarterback. Jesus Christ.
Fucking hell. I know somebody I really hope Kayla started Keenan Allen because he came in clutch. Not a shit ton of yards or anything by any means, but definitely a nice week one performance. You know who's not going to have a nice week one performance? Xavier Worthy.
Yes. No.
How do you get taken up by your own teammate, bro?
Tight end. I don't know if she started him, but what I will say is, talking about a different division that I'm in, I did see that Brandon Cohen picked up Quentin Johnson. So I'm like, okay, we're at that point in the year where people think Quentin Johnson's a good, reliable receiver. Can't wait for that to backfire in week 6.
I was about to say week 6 or 7.
Yes. But yeah, no, very fun week. Great to get football back up and running. And so now we're going to go into week 2 predictions. So I have every game written down. We're just going to predict some games. Obviously, me and Tato do have the every week we are predicting to see who wins overall at the end of the season. With my celebrity guest pickers, again, I'm looking to get somebody every week. You're going to be going up against other celebrity guest pickers. And the way I will do is percentage. Because you will have more games than other people. There are some weeks where we have 4, 6, 8 teams on bye. So obviously there will not be as many games. So it will all be kind of a percentage. And in the last couple weeks, I'll do something for the celebrity guest picker. I haven't quite decided yet. So with that being said, Jay, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, well then let's get into this. Thursday night football, we have a barn burner. Two undefeated teams. We have the Commanders traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers. As of right now, the Packers are 3.5 point favorites. Obviously, this is Micah Parsons playing against his old defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, and also Micah Parsons' last sack as a member of the Dallas Cowboys came against Jaden Daniels. This is in Lambeau. I think this is going to be a very fun matchup. A really good offense versus a really good defense, kind of on both sides of the ball. So it's a matter of which one do you trust more. And I will say I have the Packers winning this one. I trusted their defense without Micah Parsons, and watching that whole team take on Detroit last week. It was wild. Detroit couldn't do anything, and Micah wasn't even on the field that much. They had a really good defense before that trade. They have a great defense now after that trade. So I have
the fuck Packers. Is Jerry Jones thinking?
I have no idea. 2 first round. Jay, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think this is going to be a close game. And if the Commanders had to travel a little bit farther, I think it would be a little harder. I think this is going to be like a 28-31, and I'm just barely going to give the edge to the Commanders. I like their defense just a little bit more when it comes to facing like a pass-heavy offense like that. And they have been a little pass-heavy. Green Bay, obviously. That's right. But it could really go either way. This is going to come down to the last 5 minutes in the third quarter. That's where that game's going to come down to. That they're both going to go out there. It's going to be a shootout the entire fucking day. It really is. I have no problems with that whatsoever. Jay Daniels, Jordan Love, I don't give a fuck. It's going to be back and forth. It's going to come down to a play in the third quarter. That's what's going to determine the game. Not the fourth quarter, not the last 2 minutes of the fucking fourth quarter. Same practice. When you talk about practice, you star player. It's us 11 versus those 11. No, this is going to come down to a play in the third fucking quarter.
And you do have the Commanders winning?
I have the Commanders winning by 3. Yeah. 31-28.
All right.
I'm winning by 3.
Next, we will go to our Sunday games. We have first off the 1 o'clock games. We have the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. As of right now, the Rams are 5.5 point favorites. This is Cam Ward's first game at home. So his debut in Nissan Stadium, I believe.
I believe so.
Yep. What are your thoughts on this one, Jay?
I don't ever want to see a blowout, but I feel like a blowout is coming here. I think this is going to be the Rams 17-7. And the Titans touchdown is going to come off of the back of probably one of the best receivers that Seattle has ever had.
All right. So last week, some of my bets that I do is I'll put together like 5 teams who I think is going to win and just run a little parlay like that. And I had one with I had the Rams in it, and my brother's like, I think you're going to hit that one, except for the Rams, because there's no way the Rams beat the Texans, and which is funny because he's a Rams fan. And I'm like, the only way the Rams don't win this is if Matthew Stafford doesn't play. I really think with this game too, the only way the Rams don't win is if Matthew Stafford doesn't play. Watching him last week, I think he's lying about this whole back injury.
The man can throw a touchdown pass with a goddamn dislocated shoulder. I don't give a fuck about a back injury.
Exactly. He and the other thing too, he has one good weapon with Puka Nacua. Kyron Williams is also a great running back, and I also really like their defense too.
Their defense is not terrible, at all by any means. The NFC West is one of those really weird ones. You either have a great offense or you have a great defense.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you get that Legion of Boom led by Russell Wilson on the offense. And now you're kind of getting that with the Rams here. Do I think Matty Staffs is a little old? Yeah, but he was trapped for a very long time at fucking Ford Field, and the only thing that he had to throw to was 17-foot tall Megatron, and when that stopped.
So one thing, I am picking the Rams on this one. I think it's hysterical that he spent most of his career getting beat the fuck up in in Detroit, and so you think, oh hey, short career. No, this guy's pushing 40 and he's still playing at a very high level too. That's crazy.
I was gonna say he's not playing at like a fucking amateur level. The guy is still out here dropping fucking dimes.
Yes. All right, so we both have the Rams on that one. Our next game, we have Jacksonville. The Jaguars are traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Bengals are 3.5-point favorites. I'm going to go first on this one. I do not know what Vegas sees in the Bengals to think that they are favorites in anything, because unlike the Browns, the Jaguars have two sides of a football team. They have an offense and a defense. Josh Hines Allen is definitely no Myles Garrett, but he's still a good defender. And I was very high on the Panthers, and they shut that Panthers offense down. I think this is going to be a blowout in favor of the Jaguars, even though they don't have Tank Bigsby. Thank you for that, Jaguars. Jay, what's your thought on this one?
It's going to be a 14-10 game. It's going to be a 14-10 game. I'm giving it to Cincinnati. I'm giving it to the Bengals. And it's not only because I have Joe Burrow in like two of my leagues, two of the three leagues that I won this week. It's because I do believe that he's got enough to work with, and them frosted tips are coming back.
I would like to see those frosted tips come back. All right, next we have the Browns traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. This is our first matchup in which both teams have yet to win. So we will get our first guaranteed winless no more. The Ravens are 11.5-point favorites. So I think that's the biggest spread of the week is the Ravens plus 11.5. So Jay, what's your thoughts on this one?
I have Derrick Henry on my team and Zay Flowers on my team for a fucking reason. If you think that you said it was 11.5?
11.5.
No. This is gonna be double digits, but it's gonna be more than 11.5. Like I hate to be that guy. You have essentially three running backs right there. You could literally just give them the old like Kyle Shanahan playbook from like San Francisco and just have them do the Deebo Samuel, fucking Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Juszczyk shit, but have it be Lamar, Zay, and Derrick Henry, and the shit would still work. It would still work. I think this is gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be 35. This is going to be 35-15. It's going to be 35-15 because they're going to go for 2 points and miss an extra point.
Wow. I can't believe you think the Browns are going to score 15 points on that Ravens. You're right on one of those numbers.
They could always run a fucking kick for a touchdown. Okay, they could always run a kickoff for a touchdown.
I'm about to say the Ravens could find a way to blow this.
They did it against the fucking Bills.
Yeah. No, see, the Ravens are very much like a married woman. They'll blow it occasionally. Not a lot, but occasionally they
on
will.
Your birthday.
And definitely not 2 times in a row. So the Ravens not blowing it this week. I think the Ravens get the win. And again, 11.5 is outrageous because it should be a lot more than that.
Absolutely.
Next, we're going to go down. The Bills are traveling to New Jersey to take on the Jets because they're the New York Jets. They play New Jersey. That makes sense somewhere. The Bills are 6.5-point favorites. I'm going to go first on this one. I think this one might be a lot closer than a lot of people want it to be. Think that it will be. I will say Justin Fields did surprise me last week with how well he was able to play. But I think this is going to be like a 4 point game because it's close, but it's not going to be like that close. They should be able to cover, hopefully, maybe. I don't know. I do think the Bills win though. Jay, what's your thoughts on this one?
Oh no, man! Buffalo's gonna be so tired having to travel that 3.5 hours to East Rutherford. Like, oh my god, dude, they're gonna be absolutely wiped. The jet lag is gonna be real, even though they're riding a bus there. Like, the jet lag will be real, and they only win by 3. No, I still think the Bills are gonna have it. I wish their defense was a little bit better than it was against like the Ravens last week, but at the exact same point in time, I don't think the Jets have an offense the way that the fucking Ravens have an offense. So,
Yeah.
I don't think they have an offense. I don't think their defense is as good as the fucking Ravens is either. This is going to be one of those ones where you definitely start, if you have Josh Allen, this is a game where you definitely start Josh Allen because he's going to put up 35 points for you.
Absolutely. No, you talk about jet lag. That New York City traffic is horrible, and they do cross the state line. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of traveling going on there.
So does Batman. Every time he fights crime.
All right, next we have,
canonically in Jersey.
Next we have the Patriots traveling down to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Dolphins are 1.5 point favorites.
Ain't no fucking way.
I know, right? What's your thoughts
Ain't
on
no
that?
fucking way. Is Drake May still the goddamn quarterback?
Drake May is still the quarterback.
Okay, cool. Drake May's gonna make up for that 1.5 points by dropping another fucking 6.5 on him. This is gonna be the Patriots. I don't give a fuck if you got Tyreek Hill. You have Tyreek Hill all you want. You can't just throw a ball and, like, especially after coming off a fucking ass handing the way that they, no, bro, no.
No, I said it last week. I'll say it again this week. Mike, whatever your last name is, head coach for the Dolphins. I'm not even going to worry about remembering his last name because he's not going to be the head coach of the Dolphins much longer.
They're going to call Lovie Smith out of retirement.
Yeah, there's already conversation about them trading Tyreek. Jalen Waddle is hurt and is listed as questionable for the game. Tua looked like he was playing with a concussion with half of those.
Tua's always playing with a concussion.
He saw like quadruples out there. And that defense was so bad. The best thing I heard was I don't remember who it was, but someone saying that defense played like they didn't respect anybody on their team, and definitely not their head coach.
Defense played like they were going up against Japanese whalers. Get it? Because they're dolphins, and there is no defense against that.
No, yeah, I do not know what Vegas sees in this. Because I think the Patriots steamroll.
The Patriots are gonna dog walk the Dolphins.
Yeah. All right, next we have the 49ers traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Right now, the 49ers are 3.5 point favorites. This is one where I was constantly going back and forth on. George Kittle's on IR.
On this one.
I know, right? Kittle is on IR, so he's going to miss at least 4 games. Michael Turner, please trade Johnny Smith, or please trade any of your running backs for Johnny Smith. I will do most any of those trades. Also, Brock Purdy is expected to miss maybe this week, maybe multiple weeks.
I just saw Nick Wagner's article about it. He's out for a couple of weeks, possibly.
Yeah.
Who's their backup quarterback?
Mac Jones.
Oh, I was gonna say, is it fucking just Kyle Juszczyk? You're just gonna have a fucking run heavy offense where everything's a QB draw because it's fucking Kyle Juszczyk, and he's just gonna be he's just the new Mike Allstott.
It's definitely the last the last half of when they played the Eagles in the conference championship a couple years ago. It's like, we're just gonna give it to McCaffrey. He's gonna run it because we can't do anything else.
Chris
No,
McCaffrey's gonna hurt himself in the fucking like halfway through the second quarter and come back in the fourth and just score 6 touchdowns.
yeah,
Like the fucking cunt he is.
no. I was going back and forth on this one because I do like Kellen Moore. I liked a little bit of what they were doing against the Cardinals last week. But one thing that I kept going back on is Chris Olave is going to die on that field. Those hits that he took, and the 49ers are a hard-hitting defense. Fred Warner might rip his leg off during that game. So while, yes, Mac Jones is not that great of a quarterback, Christian McCaffrey is a great running back. They do still have –
stay healthy.
Yeah. Ricky Pearsall played very well last week. So I think they have just enough weapons to be able to survive the Saints. I'm picking the 49ers.
It hurts my Rain City bitch pigeon loving heart to agree with you. But the Saints are not the team that they were when they had Drew Brees. They have some success on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense is lackluster. I'm not going to make that joke. That is a terrible joke. I will make that joke off screen. It's got a lot of holes in it. Like right after you visit agriculture. But I do think that the Niners win this, and I think that it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be as close of a game as it was with the Seahawks, but I do give the Niners this game, and this is one of the 6 games they're going to win this season. This is one of the 7 games they're going to win this season.
All right, Jay also going with the 49ers.
Don't fucking put that out there for people to hear. They could have heard me say it.
I didn't. You did. You said it.
Yeah, they could have heard me say it. You didn't have to fucking co-sign me on it, man. Fuck.
All right. Next, we have the Giants traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Right now, the Cowboys are a 3.5 point favorites. Jay, what are your thoughts on this one?
I don't fucking want either team to win. Can this just be a draw? Can Jerry Jones just fucking stroke out already? I think as soon as that happens, the Cowboys will be a better team. They'll be better off for it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't give a fuck about Jerry Jones. He makes incredibly poor decisions. I like Dak Prescott as a person. I don't like him as a quarterback. Yeah, here we go. No, I'm good, Doug. Like, you're okay, but like you need to be like, don't do this. I will take a pay cut. Okay, so I'm gonna tangent for a second.
Okay.
And I'm sorry. You know what made Tom Brady a great quarterback? You know what made people respect Tom Brady? It wasn't the fact that he has 6 or 7 fucking Super Bowl rings. Would have had 8 had he not gone up against the better Manning brother, Eli. It's the fact that he took pay cuts to make sure that he was protected in the fucking pocket and had a monster like Gronk. That's all you need to do. You do not, you can slang that fucking ball like you slang dick all day long, dog. All day long. But make sure that the people who protect you are taken care of, and they will fucking fight for you tooth and nail. Pacino was right, bro. In any given Sunday, whether it's an inch or a fucking mile, my guy, we'll tear at it, we'll claw for it, especially if they respect their fucking quarterback. Dak Prescott needs to step his game up, and then it'd be a little bit better, in my opinion. Also, it's the fucking Giants. You don't have anything to worry about. Like, it's the fucking Giants. Like, the Cowboys are gonna win. Cowboys are gonna win by a fucking 10 points. I will right now say the Cowboys are gonna win by 10 points.
All right. So, I'm just curious to know who Dak spits at in that game to try to bait them into spitting on him. Because now that we know
he gets off on it.
Now that we know that Dak was the first spitter, though, I think he gets in trouble whenever he tries to do it again.
So can we all agree that what we need to do is we need to make a Han Solo Dak Prescott T-shirt and say that Hans spat first or Dak spat first.
Bat first.
Dak
Absolutely.
spat first.
Yeah. Um, no, but especially after that game Thursday night, I
Yeah.
was ready. I was ready to crown the Cowboys as dangerous to win the NFC East because they're.
Don't do that. Don't give Sean Wasserkrug hope.
While I want the Eagles to win, no team can win that division twice in a row.
That's 100% fair. That's actually
Exactly.
100% fair.
And so something has to happen for them to have like a little meltdown and finish as a wild card team. But then I also started thinking, I'm like, well, their running game wasn't that good. It was more of we didn't have our dominant run stopper. And while I'm not going to say the Giants have a run stopper, what I will say is this game's in Dallas. And when Jerry spent these millions and millions and billions of dollars constructing an amazing stadium, he forgot about this thing called the sun.
Hold on. First off, he didn't spend billions of dollars. He literally made the entire state of Texas pay for his stadium. Go fuck yourself, Jerry Jones. You're a piece of shit. Billionaires shouldn't exist. Die slow.
Regardless of your thoughts on the man, he did forget about this thing called the sun, and I believe
the Bible.
Those 1:00 games where the sun hits just right, where the whole red zone and end zone in one side of the stadium, you can't do anything on. And it always
you can't see it.
It always works out. That's right when Dallas has the ball there. Dallas had one win at home last year, and I want to say it was against the Giants, but I would love to see Dallas go 0-8 at home this year, because of the.
Oh my god, I'm laughing, dude.
So I am giving it to the Giants. I think the Giants pulled the upset that nobody thinks will happen. That nobody's actually calling it.
One of two home games that the Cowboys are going to win. This is one of two home games the Cowboys are going to win.
No, they're going to lose this one. Giants are winning.
I will bet you $5, Papa. Virtually shake my hand right now. I will Venmo you $5. Jacob 307 on Cash App. I know what your Cash App is, bitch. I've sent you money.
After
answers.
After my betting last week, I'm not in a betting mood right now. Next we have Chicago traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions. Bears, Lions are a 5.5 point favorite.
Well, it's at Ford Field, of course.
Exactly. I'm going to go first on this one. Based off of last week's games, both these teams lost. But one team looked a whole lot better than the other team, and that was the Bears. The Bears were prime and poised to win, and the Lions never really had a chance. Jared Goff's not that great of a quarterback. There's a reason the Rams ditched him.
That's 5 years ago.
There's a reason the Rams ditched him. I have the Bears winning this one. Jay, what about you?
Shout out to my boy Tato. I love you. No. I really don't see that happening as much as like I would love to sit here and talk shit about the Lions, especially after they fucking embarrassed the Seahawks last season. And by far probably one of the most run dominant games the entire goddamn season. No. I do think the Lions are going to take this. And I think like everybody knows the jokes of the Browns and the Bears. The Bears ain't been shit since the 80s. I'm giving this one to the Lions. I'm giving this one to the Lions, and they're gonna fucking squeak it by. It's gonna be like a man who just ate Taco Bell and a laxative racing to a fucking porta potty. They're just barely gonna squeak it out.
All right. Well, now we have our final 1:00 game. We have the Seahawks traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Steelers right now are 2.5 point favorites. Jay, I always let whoever's team is playing. If it's your team, I always let you go first. And that's also the way the order worked out this time. Jay, what's your thoughts on this one?
Lemon face, lion face, lemon face, lion. This is not going to be fun. Like I get that everybody's hyped for DK to be a Steeler now. Like I'm happy for him. Like he went where he went. I have always said it. I will 100% sit there and say the Seahawks are my favorite team. They have been since I was 3 years old and I was able to actually understand what the fuck football was and I was able to pick a team. The Seahawks have always been my favorite team. But that doesn't mean that I can't be critical of my own team. DK is a petulant child. He is a diva. He is a great footballer. He plays a great game of football, but he is a fucking diva, especially when he gets locked down. And at training camps, while he was a Seahawk, he got locked down by everybody. I don't see this going the way that everybody thinks it is, because everybody's going to be like, oh, Aaron Rodgers dropping, what was it, 35 points?
Yeah, 5 touchdowns.
30. Yeah. It was 35 points last week. That's great. You know who he couldn't drop 35 points on last season, even with like a moderately decent team? The Seattle Seahawks. And that was when our defense was absolute hot dog water, to use a phrase that Henry loves. I see Seattle squeaking this one out. I think this is not gonna. I think this is gonna be a 7-point game. This is gonna be a 1 touchdown game, and I don't see Big Cat getting another pick six, but I do see him getting his fucking hands up like he's Tart in that goddamn game in South Hallow. You know what I mean? I see him getting his fucking big ass mitts up there and just swatting the goddamn ball, just slapping the fuck out of Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
Kelsey.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's funny. You were talking about him swatting the pass. I was talking about him swatting Travis Kelsey in the face.
Man's hit Travis Kelsey the way that fucking Will Smith hit Chris Rock. They're like, oh no, that's not an ejection because it's not a closed fist. I was like, that's because you don't hit bitches with a closed fist. You hit them with an open palm.
Yeah.
Man's applied baby powder before he went for it. And he got that rotation in there too. So you know that hurt. And then he tried to flop, dude. That's the thing I can't stand about the Chiefs is they're good enough to win. They don't need the refs to win, but they use the refs to win. They're bitches.
All right. So now it's my turn. I do like Seattle's defense. Kind of what Jay was saying with the NFC West. You either have a great offense or a great defense. And there's a reason that Seattle was only able to score, 14 points last week. So I do think Rodgers is playing a much better defense this week than he did last week. And, DK didn't really do much last week. Couldn't do much in training camp like you were saying, Jay. But here's the fun thing. Rodgers has more people.
6 foot 17 inches tall.
He has more people to throw to, like Jonnu Smith. And so if somebody is willing to give you Jonnu Smith for a running back that you don't even start, Michael Turner, you should take it. You should jump on it because he's going to be their
damn, bro.
Rodgers' number one option.
You don't think that's not going to be? You don't think that's not going to be thought of though?
Jaylen Warren had a great game, so I think this will be close. I do think Steelers get the win. I do think they cover that 2.5-point spread just because that is a really low spread. But I think it's going to be like a last-second field goal, or they have a touchdown lead, and Seattle's just not able to get anything to tie it up or something like that. So I do have the Steelers winning this game.
You're breaking my heart, sir. You're breaking my heart.
You'll get over it. Next we have the first four. The other thing too is the Seahawks are traveling. West Coast teams do not do well at that 1 o'clock window traveling to East Coast.
Oh, the Seattle Seahawks didn't do great in East Rutherford, New Jersey when they played against the fucking Denver Broncos and beat them 43-8 either. Fuck off.
That wasn't a 1 o'clock game. That was a night game. I don't remember the exact time. was like
It was
6
3 o'clock in the afternoon here.
there. All right, next we have the first 4 o'clock game, 4:05 to be exact. The Denver Broncos are traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Broncos are 1.5-point favorites.
That's crazy.
Jay, do you hear that? It sounds like it's the voice of Papa this time last year. Bo Nix. Bo Nix is trash.
Bo Nix is a bitch.
The Bo Nix trash did come to light last week, and it's probably going to come to light this week too because Bo Nix is trash. That being said, Daniel Jones is trash too. So
Danny Dimes?
Who do I trust? Oh, he has one good game. Calm down. He led the Giants in a playoff win one time, but he also tripped.
You know who didn't do it for the? You know who didn't do it for the Denver Broncos though? Bo Nix.
Yeah, not yet. No, I definitely think that was kind of a getting back into the swing of things game because he didn't play much of the preseason. So look for Bo Nix to have a better game. He threw 2 interceptions last week. That's not happening this week because he's going to throw 3. No, I do have the Broncos winning this game. Probably one possession game, but still getting the win.
This game's going to come down to a blocked field goal. This game is going to come down to a blocked field goal, but I'm actually going to swing in the opposite direction. I really did like what Indianapolis did last week. I think Indianapolis wins by 3. It's not going to be large. It's not going to be a large 3. It's going to be like 17-14. It's not going to be a large 3. But I think they're going to win by 3. I'm sorry, 3. For our Australian mate in the chat. I see you out there. Grant Gregory AI. How you going, mate?
Well, no, it's not Grant. It's pop up. It's Grant Gregory AI. So it's intelligence that he has created. It's not actually him. No, one crazy Stuttgart stat of the day. I read it was a list of cornerbacks yards that they allowed while facing the number 1 wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick Surtain gave up 0 yards.
That is a fire stat line.
Yeah.
That is a fire stat line, but you also got to remember there are multiple people on teams, and he can cover a wide receiver or he can cover a tight end. He cannot run fast enough like Quicksilver to cover the entire team.
Yeah, but he's like Revis Island out there, just cutting down half of it. Regardless, we are moving on to the next game. The Panthers are traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Cardinals are 6.5-point favorites. I think
I don't know why.
Yeah. Jay, what are your thoughts on this one?
I don't like a team that is helmed by a drunken toddler, or at least an individual who runs like one. Because I don't trust midgets. And Kyler Murray is 4'11" and 3/17 of an inch tall. Is he fast? Yes. Is D-Hop still there? No. Okay. No. I didn't. No.
No, he's a Raven.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And that's only because D-Hop's getting old as shit and he wants a fucking ring. But if that's the case, I don't know why you went to the Ravens. You're going to get to the playoffs, my boy. But Super Bowl, think again. You ain't Ray Lewis, my guy, allegedly. I think there has to be one sacrificial lamb for the slaughter in the NFC West. And I think it's the Arizona. I think it's the Arizona Cardinals. I do. I think it's the Arizona Cardinals. No matter what anybody fucking says, I do not care. I think Carolina. As much as Carolina might not be a great team, I think they're gonna walk into Glendale, Arizona, and just absolutely take a shit on these Redbirds. Also, when you put a cat up against the bird, how often does the bird win? This ain't some Tom and Jerry type shit. Yes, I know Tom is a cat, Jerry is a mouse. But it wouldn't have made sense if I went with the Wile E. Coyote reference, would it? Exactly.
Exactly. All right, so my turn on this one. I got to hand it to Arizona. They had a great game last week. Their defense played great against the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, who is most people's pick to have the worst record in football. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes, the Panthers didn't do much against the Jags defense. I do like that team. I think their offense is a lot better than the Saints. And the Saints were the Saints were one play away from tying that game up. So
Jamal Williams.
So I will say, I think the Panthers. This is their start of the season. This is where they turn around, and this is still my pick to win the NFC South. Crazy, really? I know. I also have the Panthers winning.
Hey.
Next, we have only one game at the 4:25 time slot. We have the Super Bowl rematch, the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Right now, Philadelphia is a 1.5 point favorite. I'm going to go first on this one. As long as Jalen Carter doesn't spit near anybody, he's playing. And if he's playing, I seriously doubt we're going to lose that game. I think our corners tighten it up. Adoree Jackson got lit up. He was actually number one on that list, on that stat I was telling you about. Gave up like 105 yards.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But I do think we tightened it up quite a bit. Maybe throw some Keely Ringo in there, or the other guy we just picked up from Oakland. I can't think of his name right now. But yeah, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are going to do their part. Okay. DeJean's going to get another pick six. Zach Bond's
Vegas.
What?
You said Oakland. Do you mean?
Oh
Vegas?
Yeah, I meant Vegas. I mean Vegas.
I was like, wait. Oakland Technical College had a undrafted free agent.
I'm an old man. I'm not used to change. They don't play in Oakland anymore. What?
What? They play in a giant nipple stadium. What?
And I do think Jalen Hurts was my pick to win MVP this year. He had a great game one. Yeah. Great game one. Okay. He's going to have a great game two. I have the Eagles winning this one also. Jay, what's your thoughts?
Fuck the Kansas City Chiefs. Their tight end took out their wide receiver one. The fuck? In week one? Just because he's jealous that his wife is richer than him? Like... Or, I'm sorry, his fiance, not his wife. His fiance.
They're not married yet.
Yeah, they're not married yet.
They haven't signed that
marriage. That marriage will last just as long as Kim Kardashian's marriage to an NFL footballer, man. Gay. 73 days, bro. 73 days. No, all I need is, I don't give a shit. What you do is you spend all of your team's money to bring Kendrick Lamar back to do the Star Spangled Banner at the beginning of the game, and then let him do like 2 or 3 of the songs during halftime, because halftime's only 15 minutes long. Just to fuck with the Chiefs. That's what we need. That's what we need to have happen. And that would be hilarious. No, the Eagles are winning this game. The Eagles are winning this game. I don't give a fuck whether or not it's in Arrowhead Stadium. I don't give a fuck where it is you play this goddamn game. Eagles fans are ruthless, bro. Eagles fans will come to Arrowhead Stadium with fucking batteries and throw them at your goddamn. They'll throw batteries at Santa Claus. They'll throw batteries at anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, fly Eagles fly, until you play Drew Lockdown, and it's a 2-minute fucking drill.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So I love how when you brought that up to Chad in that Facebook chat, Chad's like, "Well, it's only AAAs." Yeah, so we can fit more in the sock to make it hurt worse. All right. Next, we have Monday Night Football. The Atlanta Falcons are traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Vikings are 3.5 point favorites. Jay, what's your pick on this one?
Wait, is that not a Sunday game?
Yeah, it's Sunday night.
Oh, you said Monday.
Oh, well, I
That's
meant
what threw me off. Okay, that's what threw me off. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's a Sunday night game. Falcons versus Minnesota. As much as I really would like the Falcons to win, I don't think the Falcons are going to win this. I really don't. Not in US Bank Stadium. I think Minnesota is going to squeak this one out. This isn't going to be a blowout like I've predicted with a couple of other teams. This is going to be one of those really fucking close ones. This is going to be less than a possession. This is going to come down to a fucking field goal. It's going to come down to a field goal, or like Minnesota's going to grab a safety, and it's not going to be pretty, but this is going to be gritty, in your fucking face football, and I need to see a little bit more of that. You know what I mean? Especially Sunday night primetime.
Yeah. Well, so that was going to go into my argument. This is a primetime game. And you know who the Falcons' backup quarterback is?
No, because I don't care about the Falcons enough to fucking study them.
Kirk Cousins. And
let's go, Kirk COVID.
You know how well Kirk Cousins' team does in primetime games?
I mean, it depends on the game. Because you could throw the ball up with 4 seconds fucking left. Oh, wait. No, I still think they got it.
Jay broke himself. Kirk Cousins' team does not do well in primetime games. And yeah, I think that's the only argument I really need. I also have the Vikings winning this one. Next, we go to actual Monday Night Football. We have 2 games this Monday night. The first one at 7 o'clock. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. Texans, when I wrote this down, were 2.5 point favorites. The line has already moved down to they are 1.5 point favorites, according to ESPN Bet. And I will say, I was very surprised by the Buccaneers drafting Emeka Egbuka because they already had 2 great wide receivers in Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. And especially in fantasy, when people are drafting Emeka Egbuka very quickly, like 4th, 5th round, I'm like, guys,
that's an 11th round pick.
He's going to be the number 4. He's going to be the number 4 receiver on that team. Completely forgot Chris Godwin is suffering a broken heart in every other part of his body right now. So it'll be like week 5 or 6 before he plays. Darn it, that was a good pick. I don't trust Houston's team at all. I don't trust their secondary. I think Tampa Bay lights it up, and I think they get the win. Jay, what are your thoughts?
Is it still the Baker's dozen down there? Is it still Baker?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you know what? I loved that little undercover that he did, bro, for ESPN, the way that, like, what was his name? Thad Powers or whatever that fucking Eli did when he went undercover trying out for the fucking college teams and shit. I loved that. That shit, mad funny. At the exact same point in time, God is on CJ Stroud's side. CJ Stroud, the only thing that's missing from CJ Stroud's team is Jamal Williams, because at that point in time, they would have the power of God and anime on their side. I am going to actually give this one to the Texans. I don't think it's going to be the Texans are going to, I hate to keep saying squeak it out, but I think they're going to do well. I think CJ Stroud really showed that he had the ability to play high caliber fucking football last season. Even as like a newer individual into the league. And I think that like one game does not a bad player make. And And if anything, going up against somebody like Baker Mayfield on a completely different offense, Grant can 100% take credit for this because it was the first time I'd ever heard anybody say it. But iron sharpens iron. I really do think that this is going to be a shootout, and this is going to come down to the wire. This is going to be one of those like, oh, hey, we win by like 3. This is going to be we win by 3, and I'm giving it to the Texans. Bad defense and all. Bad defense.
All right. And then our final game starting 3 hours later. This game starts at 10 o'clock.
It starts at 7 p.m., guys.
That is a late game. Yeah, 8 p.m. for Mountain Time. I'm like, glad I
he said, I'm an old ass man.
I'm glad I work late on Tuesdays. We have the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Wait, the Raiders don't play in Oakland anymore? Since when? Chargers are 3.5-point favorites.
No shit.
All right, Jay. Final game. What's your thoughts?
I will, like I said earlier when I was talking about my Rain City bitch pigeons, I love the Seahawks, and just about everybody who has ever done anything for the Seahawks is A-okay in my book, right? Coach Carroll went to the Raiders after admittedly the Seahawks did him dirty. Not as dirty as finding out that you've been cut on Twitter, but they did Pete dirty. They were like, you know what, we're going to move on from you, but we'll put you in the back office, then we'll put you in the front office, and then we're just going to slowly phase you out. Gino, you got to respect the cat, bro. You do. Like, you got to respect the cat. He had like 2 really good seasons and a couple of like a season and a half of mediocrity. But if you sit on a bench for fucking 9 years and you don't get a chance and then you finally show up and show out, like, yeah, cool. You win comeback player of the year. I don't have any ill will or ill intent against anybody who used to play for the Seahawks if they're still playing in the league. I just don't think that the Raiders are that good of a team. I think they're going to lose this game, especially with the Chargers coming off of that fucking W against the Chiefs last week. I think the only thing that might be a detriment is if they're not really, and I don't know why it would be, but if they're not really recovered from flying to fucking, Brazil and then flying back and then having to drive 3.5 hours in a bus to Vegas. But like, I still see the Chargers coming up with this one. 2 scores. 2 scores.
2 scores. All right.
10 points. 10 points minimum. 10 points minimum.
Yes. Yeah. So I like both these.
Hi,
teams.
Kayla.
Hi, Jay.
Quit interrupting the show. Come on, Jay. This is professional show. I do like both these teams. If there was an award that could be given out to most improved team, I think the Raiders would definitely get that award. And I think the Chargers should also be in that conversation, even though they were a playoff team last year.
Seahawks.
Absolutely not.
Especially after the draft. Fuck you. Especially after the draft.
No, especially not at all. Not nowhere near the conversation. They couldn't even beat the 49ers, holding them to under 20 points. Like, what are we doing here, Jay? No, I think this is going to be a fairly close game. I was kind of going back and forth on this one too, but I am also giving it to the Chargers. So with that, those have been our picks. In the comments, give me your lock. What is your one team you guarantee a win, so I can use it on ESPN Survivor, and hopefully not go out in the first week like I did last year because the Bengals lost to the Raiders. But for Jay, for Tato, thank you so much for watching. Make smart choices or don't. I don't care. I'm not your dad, but I could be your papa.